I've got so many games running, like on different days now that I just want to make sure I always have the right. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's going all right. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we got everything working just right, and it looks like we are, which is good. Which is good. That's what I was hoping for. So we're in Mongrel, partly because Mongrel's a really nice hideout. If we're gonna have to be a bandit band, at least for a little while, we're gonna hang out in Mongrel. I think it's a good idea. It's one of the I'm zooming around the city, but one of the better places I think in the game. Just it's very. I've always found Mongrel fun. Cities like Mongrel, things like that. I think the only exception, I think, I just generally like. I think the setting, like I think just settings where you're surrounded by all sides by things that want to kill you, right? It just works really well in a game format because it puts a lot of the. Oh gosh, he's in some trouble. That Shinobi guard. Should we help him out? I'm kind of worried about him. You know what? Let's help him out. You just hold where you are, Crawl. Let's help him out. I don't want him to get eaten. He's a guard. Let's shoot some of our toothpicks at him. These guys. Okay, so I'm gonna fire from the furthest distance possible, just so we give ourselves some time. Okay. Oh, we're getting a few people coming after us. Okay, and let's run back, and then fire. This is where I said crossbows. I wanted to show off what I meant by crossbows. And I felt like this is a perfect opportunity to illustrate my point about crossbows, about how I almost feel like maybe something like shields or something wouldn't be that bad of an idea for the game. I know that kind of goes against kind of the like I feel like the game is heavily almost everything it takes inspiration from is basically from Turkey East, if that makes sense. Like basically with the Holy Nation being very, very like, I mentioned that they're like the Holy Nation, but they're even more so like the Ottoman Empire. So much so like the Ottoman Empire. Like they have so much in common with them. Just because of how they're what call it. Just even with the whole concept of because if you look into like with the Ottomans and then they had like the Janissaries and everything like that, the only big difference, because if you look at like whenever a band, a Holy Nation band is following a group, they have people call them holy servants behind them, and that's exactly what they wear the exact same stuff the prisoners wear in Rebirth. So it's basically kind of I have a theory that's basically what that's insinuating. That they're basically that some of them are basically let out, and also that if you have a non-human species with you, you can say, "Well, I'm having them work on behalf of Akron." I'm like, that sounds so much like the Ottoman Empire. That sounds so much like them. Even more so because the biggest thing with Holy Roman Empire, they had exterminations. Like they basically have like. It was bad. Like ancient history is always bad. Like everywhere, ancient history was terrible. But they had exterminations. Whereas not Holy Roman Empire. Whereas the Ottomans had basically, they basically integrated different groups, but like in different social castes. So you got the Janissaries, which to me remind me so much of them. But either way, so yes, I could see where shields probably mess with that comparison. Okay, I think we've done well at getting these guys pulled back. So at least some of the guys are off of him. So maybe some of the guards will notice and help out. Or actually, you know what? We can actually just fight them normally now. No, we'll have them fight them. Now, I don't know exactly what the Shek inspiration would be. Because Shek are kind of a little bit the stereotypical kind of barbarian like archetype with like, oh, we fight with honor, you can't get taken down, which believe it or not doesn't really have a historical comparison. I don't know where that whole concept really came from. It is like the we'll call it the fight with honor, or I guess like a lot of it came from Conan. I guess a lot of it came from Conan, which Conan's cool. Conan has some cool stuff, but even Conan wasn't even that way. Like he'd straight up run away from fights. Like with there's one where it's like the City of Dusk or something like that, where it's like he just run. There's a giant monster, and the person he's saving is like, oh, he's gonna be so brave and kill it. Oh, why is he running past me? he's running away. Like he was smart. You know, he played it smart. I still have yet figured out where that, if someone knows where that where that stereotype comes from. I don't have any clue. Because even if you look at like Conan the Barbarian, even Conan didn't act like that. So I'm like, well, what media maybe, like what media, like or call it, did that first show up in? I don't know. Maybe westerns. I mean, I don't really remember. I've watched a lot of westerns, but even then, like they don't play it up like I fight with honor kind of thing. You get like it's like a cultural clash, not like a honor clash. And even funny enough, even in fun little history lesson, even like with like this is a lot of Bushido themes in this game. A lot of Bushido actually didn't exist until far, far, far late in the modern era, like around World War II, like or early 1900s. You started getting, I think it's like Hokaku. I'm butchering the name of this part of it, but it's like the whole emperor reverence and we call it self-sacrifice was really, really late, like modern era, like or almost modern era conceived with like there's a book like a Nazo Notobi, which is called like we call it, which was basically trying to compare them to knights. They were trying to make the West kind of understand what they were, and so he tried to make them really, really approachable from a Western perspective, and that and from a Western perspective. So it kind of just had a lot of stuff that just wasn't very accurate, or not, or I should say, wasn't accurate until after he wrote the book, and then they're like, "Yeah, you should do that." So there's a lot about history in general that a huge portion of history is either you get these archetypes that never existed, right? Because knights were all about fiduciary responsibility. Knights were all about fiduciary responsibility. Then you had samurai, which were very much more so like almost professional military. It depends on the era, like kind of the time you kind of get into it. Because you had this basically like a whole different concept of land ownership. I believe like the most similarity is like you'd see it more like renting than actually owning stuff. So either way, my point is a lot of Kenshi goes more off the Eastern, like basically the whole Eastern Hemisphere kind of inspiration. So I get that shields would be really, really, really out of place unless you kind of went with like the Turkish kind of. I think the Ottomans had shields. I don't really I don't know that much about what they had, but I think they had guns by the time they really were sparking off, I think, with the Ottomans. Let's throw on block real quick. I want to get them up and so they can run back. Oh, don't tell me you're hurt in the leg. Okay, good. I was going to say, don't be hurt in the leg. Let's run back to the city. But these Janissaries were pretty famous for using guns, if I remember correctly. Like, not like modern guns, obviously, but like, what do you call it? Rifle, like old style rifles. Oh boy. Why are we running so slow? We haven't been hitting the leg. Oh, we are holding so much stuff. We forgot to sell all that stuff. I should be able to get back before getting hurt too badly. Right? Oh, well, we are kind of getting hurt badly. Okay, hold on. We're going to be able to get back. We're going to be able to get back before we get hurt too badly. Yeah, we definitely are. And we're going to try to sell this stuff. I know I was probably using it to weight train. But let's just sell it. Oh boy. I just realized Crawl's getting attacked. Let's do that. But I get that shields would probably not be like super thematic for the setting since it has such an eastern bend toward it. But even like with I mean, I'm actually not sure. The one country I don't know much of ancient history about is China. Beyond like in terms of equipment, I do know that they did have metal. They had a very different their own kind of style of metal armor. Whoop. Oh, come on, just run. Okay, they knocked him out, but that's fine. How fast can you run? We can go save him. First aid. Cunning Crawl Catch, go get him. Everyone's getting involved when they shouldn't be getting involved. I probably should leave. I thought I had passive on him, too. Hold and passive. What's going on, Crawl? Why you, Splin his injury. Oh, gosh! Hold on. Pick up. And run. Just run back. You're running fast enough, so let's just go. First aid yourself first, real quick. You know, I'm going to just turn everybody on. I have you on block. And turn off block and turn on passive. Everybody come here. Come here for a second. Getting too distracted on, I guess, talking about history. Oop. Okay, we could probably take these guys. I'm kind of hurt, so let's run to the... Probably need a little help, at least. There you go. Let's medic. But shields would be one of the few ways you could really balance crossbows right now. Because crossbows are just... Their crossbow is if you run a little faster, you win. So you gotta be... like, and we're using an extremely short-range crossbow. So I do have some trouble with crossbows in this. Because I love using the crossbow. Like for one character with like a hunting perspective. But if you're taking it to battle, it's so one-sided. Unless you're trapped in a spot. Like, you literally have to make a severe mistake to die with a crossbow. Or run out of ammo. As long as you have ammo. And that's what I'm saying. Shields would allow you to kind of... Because right now, as long as you're good enough to shoot at shooting, there's just nothing they can do. There's nothing the defender can do. Shields would provide some kind of method for someone to be able to defend against ranged weapons besides just having better armor, which just doesn't matter once someone's rolling up with the strongest weapons in the game, like Eagle's Cross or something like that. It's just a matter of time at that point. Oh, Beep's going to want to talk to us again. So let's just talk to him and get him to leave. Why are you following her? Never mind. Okay, there we go. Oh, did that? Okay, no. We can still talk to him later. I was wondering if that permanently cut off his dialogue. Would have been neat to know. Okay, you can get into the fighting. Jaglonger. Okay, never mind. I was going to have Jaglonger do some fighting. I think I wanted him to throw up, throw them up on there. Jaglonger, run up here, and just sit up here. It's probably going to be... Oh, come on, run up there. There you go. And we'll probably run into enough occasions where we're going to actually be able to use it. Man turret. Can I not man the turret? Man turret. Can I not man turrets anymore? Man turret. I can't man turrets. What? I was manning the turret before. Why can't I man the turret anymore? Is the turret broken? Did something happen? Was that a bug that we were able to man the turrets before? Were we not supposed to be able to? Can we shoot from here? Yeah, we can. We can shoot from up here. That's cool. I just like crossbows. Crossbows really, really trivialize some elements of the game, I will say. That is probably the only downside of them. Is it being in the games. I love them, but at the same time, I love that games can have these bows always get added first. And okay, so I'm gonna be a little bit bow hating here for a moment, but just a lot of like, for example, Europe, which used or even China. China had crossbows. China had a bigger emphasis on crossbows. Europe had a bigger emphasis on crossbows. Everywhere had more crossbows except Britain. So we call it. So having bows everywhere was always a little strange to me. But besides that, it also seems a lot like you can have so much to it. Like in Mount Blade, I use them a lot, and they have clear weaknesses and they have ways of balancing them. Kind of like how the crossbows aren't like if there were bows in this game, it'd be even more broken because you could shoot a lot faster. But you could have like strength requirements or stuff like that. You could have other ways because the thing is that with a bow, the biggest problem with in real life is you actually have to be strong enough to pull back the drawstring. And it's funny because like the archer is always depicted as being wiry or lithe and thin. I'm like, no, that you're gonna be like a bodybuilder if you're pulling up. Like you're gonna be like a bodybuilder when you're drawing a not all of the bows, but like the big long bows, like the ones with like hundreds of the ones with like the big drawstring strengths. You might not look necessarily like a bodybuilder, but you're going to at least be pretty sturdy. You're gonna be more like Gimli than you are gonna be more than Legolas, because you're gonna have to be someone who really has practiced a lot. So if you actually see people who do like really high drawstrings, a lot of times they look very they're often very fit, or at least are pretty capable at lifting a good amount of weight. Because there's not much. Like there may be a little bit of tricks to it, but there's not that many tricks to kind of get around. I mean, the easiest trick to get around drawstring weight is literally to just use a crossbow. But yeah, a lot. That's one thing that always gets a little bit seems weird to me. Is the crossbow person's like this? The crossbow is like the big burly fighter. Is like, no, he uses crossbows. I'm like, nah, what? So you're telling me the small ranger is using a huge drawstring bow. Meanwhile, the person with the crossbows is the person who has the highest strength. Now, I know in D&D they do, I think in D&D they have a strength requirement. They basically have a strength requirement to use heavier bows. And that's how you can get around most of it. But yeah, if you generally, anyone who's using a longbow or something like that, they're probably going to be at least somewhat strong. Or just very smart, I guess. Very smart with how they go about it, because I can't think of any other trick to pull back we call it that much of drawstring. Or they just don't use that much they just don't use that much we call it that much strength. Or not as much strength, but they don't use as high of a pound of draw strength on the bow, which is always a way you can get around it, because you really don't need that much. And so if you wanted to make an archer in something fantasy wise, but then you want the archer to be somewhat physically impaired, like for some reason they were incapable of basically kind of working on the strength to do archery, you could simply make an argument that they just use a strong enough drawstring to pull back that they can do, but isn't insane. And a lot of times it's mostly endurance is going to be where you get really messed up, because you might be able to pull back it once and fire once. It's like, yay, I fired once. But if you're not very if you're not conditioned for it, you're just going to be able to shoot once like a minute. Like one, you're going to be like, oh boy, I'm tired. Shot one arrow and then we caught. But whereas so bows were like actually like longbows. The reason why they even had as much prevalence as they are. And I see a lot of. There's even a crossbow maker I watched that really kind of really pumps up the bow, talking a lot about the bow. And yes, they're really good, but if you're not conditioned for it, which I guess in the circumstance they're going, well, of course, if you're in a fantasy universe, you're probably conditioned for it if that's the weapon you're using. But I'm just running out to see if I can attract more people to the gates so we can shoot more. It's pretty much all we're going to do is we're just getting our fighting and shooting up. Because if we look at our crossbow, we're 7 right now and 7. Which is actually not bad considering we started off with nothing. But I know it's been kind of in the background. Let's get some of that. There. We also can make sure to get some of this stuff so we have money for food. I've been mostly looking for a prince body. Because a prince body will have a head that we can steal on him. And I'm not seeing anything. And that's a lot of money. It puts taking their weapons to shame. But yeah, bows are not easy to just, or I should say, bows that are, like, when people are talking about huge drawstring bows, are not easy to pull back. You would need some decent amount of pull power to be able to pull them back. So I've always found it strange that bows are being super, super common, because you're basically saying, okay, so every fantasy setting is in fantasy England, because there's nowhere else where the common farmer has been working on honing his archery, his longbow archery. Not just archery, because archery was a thing in most places. Like, even in, like, okay, so there's places where just climate is not really good for archery too, because it just messes, like, the bows, like, you're trying to keep a bow in a medieval sense, a bow in a medieval environment, from just messing, like, being torn apart. There's not many. There are some places where it's not inclined to. So if you're, like, always in somewhere rainy, or somewhere, like, if you're, which is kind of ironic, and if we think about where longbows were heavily used, it was very rainy. But if you're in place, like, environmental factors can really mess with anything like that. We're gonna just sit up here, and we're gonna just overwatch if we can. Can we go down? No, maybe we'll both overwatch on this side then. And we'll shoot down on if we can get another group of people, or if any of them stand up. I'm looking for if there's green blood. If you see green blood, then that's them. That's a prince, but I don't see any green blood. Or if you see a sharp weapon. I just hear flies. Just the buzzing of flies. Okay, let's zoom out so I stop having to listen to those flies. Oh, they keep going to the other side. And we miss all the fights. We're just going to wait. The fight's going to come to us one day. If we keep just switching sides to try to get into the fight, we're going to never get actually a fight. It's got to be soon, right? Let's get Jaglonger back here to... It'd be easier to hunt people, like, kind of hunt people down and fire at them, as long as we can run a little faster than them. And right now, I think we run just fast enough. We run fast enough to probably do that. Let's think. Tried meats. And what's a good price ratio here? Normally these are pretty good price ratio. Yeah, that's typically a good price ratio. Let's go trade with Crawlcash so we can put it in his backpack and have him carry it. Yeah, they're having all the fight. They're having all the fun over there. They share from the backpacks. We're gonna run out. But shields would at least give some kind... I guess what I'm trying to say is shields would give some kind of defense against... or a way for the defender to have some kind of agency over whether they get shot or not. Because right now, if you got the crossbow, you're basically like, I win 100% of the time. As long as I run faster. Once you run into a beak thing, your world flips, but... Because then they run faster than you, but... Because even if you stop and aim, you can just keep running until you're far enough away that you can just start reloading from a greater distance, or just use a longer range crossbow. I'm trying to hunt these guys down. Normally, if I run this way, I can find them. Turn off hold. Oh, who's that? It's a guard. Let's see. Now, there are a lot of other bows, and one thing I do see underrepresented a lot is there are a lot of other bows in history other than the longbow that don't require that nearly as much strength to use, and also were used to a really great effect, which it's a shame you don't see as much of. Or they're seen as like a straight downgrade. Like they're treated like they're a straight downgrade from the longbow, which is kind of sad. I think the only time the only time I haven't really seen that happen was literally in, I think it was in, what was it called? Like a tabletop called like Legend of the Five Rings, I think it was called, where they don't even have a longbow. They have, the closest thing is the Yumi, I think, in that setting. Whoop, let's keep running back. The only problem with the toothpick is it's really short range. Now we are right next to each other, so we might end up shooting. Okay, hold on. I'm just getting greedy with these shots. Rather than shooting and running away, I'm trying to stand for a bit. Go and get him. And once you have enough crossbowers, you can just stagger people to death. So don't underestimate the toothpick. The toothpick can be insane once you get into a stagger cycle of where they're just really having a nightmare. I think that I want to have you on sneak and also on block. Doesn't really matter for you, but let's run over here. If we can find a prince, we'll make 6,000 if I remember correctly. So, and again, their defenses don't matter at all. So this is literally free money. Going through Mongol with a crossbow. It's literally like hunting deer at this point. Like hunting deer, if deer were in Kenshi, because there's no real defenseless animal except maybe swamp turtles don't do a whole bunch of damage. And I think they're supposed to do a bunch of damage. They're just bugged not to. So there's no real defenseless animals in Kenshi. But if there was a defenseless animal in Kenshi, these are the closest to it once you get into using crossbows. Get him. Especially with the toothpick, because once you get to like really high rank toothpicks, you can just fire so fast. You could just use the higher level ones, but this is the quickest way to level. It's a bit scummy, but I want to get some leveling, and this is just the quickest way to level. It is literally the pay to win method of Kenshi. You pay for arrows, you pay for arrows, and you do stuff like that. Which another big emphasis I should mention that a lot of historic militaries didn't necessarily have archers as professional, and this is why I say like where a lot of Europe was different than Britain. And so much so that a lot of people go, oh look, a lot of these fantasy things are very, very original, and I'm like, well, it's just because they're not doing fantasy Britain. Almost everything fantasy is fantasy Britain. So like things like Witcher is not based, since it's not British based. It seems so much different than the other ones, even though it's same continent. It just shows you if you go like 5 feet, if you go slightly further into Europe, you can find someone who says who has some other different kind of fiction, or fairy tales, or stories, or stuff like that, or just sword fighting differences. Like a lot of like the fighting you see, like I don't know if I would call it stage fighting. But when you see like people clashing swords together, a lot of it almost is more like there's a how was it? I want to say it came from Poland. I think it's another thing from Poland with saber dueling. It's more like saber dueling because they do like where they hit the where they like they clash each other. They clash sabers a lot. I think if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. It could be some other country, but I think it's Poland where there's specifically Polish sabers where they do a lot of that. But that was another thing that just wasn't something that happened a lot with other weapons. You had like where they could push. You could run into a situation where someone might push the sword out of your way, or out of their way, with the flat of it. But it's not. I wouldn't say it was like what you were aiming for. I mean, pretty much everywhere but there. You didn't want to hit clash swords. I mean, there may be like one or two places otherwise. Or rare kind of sword styles. Oh, someone's getting eaten. Let's actually go save them. Let's go save them. Do you have enough arrows to save them, though? I'm running low. Let's go try. And we run fast enough. Hold on. We need a medic real quick. Okay, let's go try to save this guy. He's getting eaten. Oh, in a rock. He's getting eaten in a rock. Oh, there we go. We've entered the rock. And normally these are where princes are. We can also get some sneak up this way, but... Okay, so that's the shinobi guard. Oh, it's a guard. Oh, no. He's getting eaten by heavies, really. Where have all the princes gone? Oh, there's a prince. Okay, we're gonna go up. Let's see how close we can get to before we can shoot him. I still want to get the different kind of backpacks because this is just not the ideal one to use. The thieves one is like better in every way. Unless you're using that large backpack, and I think it's because there's just no thief equivalent. I think I'm shooting the... Is that the prince? Fog prince? Yep. Shoot him. We're hunting you! We're ironic. Oh, okay. We're in a bad situation. I don't know how fast do you run? 22, and I think one of us may have gotten hit in the legs. 21. We run 22. The rest of you run 20. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run back to Mongrel. Oh, let's run back this way. Give him a little bit of a... There we go. Let's go back to Mongrel. Fortunately, not going to be able to probably help that guy much more than we already have. We'll shoot him as soon as they try to turn around. The only person who can run fast enough to catch us is the prince, and that's who we want to drag with us to get 6,000 bucks. And we can kind of juke out of the way of him when he gets close to us. So he's getting close. Okay, hold on. Okay, you can just run straight back to Mongrel because he's not following you. Kralkesh, he's following you, right? Yeah, he's right on you. There we go. You can try to here. Woo! Run over here. Make sure he doesn't get away. Make sure you hunt him down. Oh, he's getting way too far away. He is getting far away. You need to get close. Oh. Come on, reload and fire on him. Oh. He's being tricky. He's running. He's pathing back. So I think the smartest idea would be to have someone maybe get in close and start blocking near him, and then try to his combat skills I think in 30. So our defense plus 20 would be more than enough. Especially hold on, Crawl. No, you go back here. Don't want you getting involved right now. You're just a puppy. You're just a puppy, Crawl. And even though fighting would be useful to you right now, it's just not what we want to do. Darn, he gotta wait. Went back to the place. I go back this way. Oh, shoot him. There we go. They have no armor, so they have nothing to defend themselves from this. Other than run. if they weren't dragging back to that same post, they wouldn't have any protection. There we go. Fire again. Fire again. Yes, keep firing on him. There we go. Just fire in bulk against him. Oh, gosh. Are you both out of ammo now? Oh, I think you both are. Hold on. Is he really hurt? Okay, I might be able to... Okay, what was that hit to the leg? Oh. Let's just fight. Let's just fight. We can't kind of get rid of the screams going on in the background. Trying to ignore them right now, but it's not super easy. Let's block and taunt with him right now. Okay, Kralkesh, you throw that off and go. Get him right in the back. Oh boy, they're getting hit a bit. Oh, there we go. We're in the cycle of death. He can't turn around and block. That's right. That's the best part of the really quick weapons. Is you can get is a lot of enemies don't have the speed. Get him in the blender. That's our special move, the blender. Oh, am I healing him? No, I do not heal him. Heal ourselves. Alright, let's run back here. But I don't foresee shields in Kenshi 2, but I would love to see shields in Kenshi 2. Just because, if for no other reason, that crossbows then become better as a hunting weapon and less as the default always win combat weapon. Because as long as you can run faster, you will always win with a crossbow. You'll beat everyone. Now, assassination, honestly, is technically, once you get good enough at sneak, you can kind of do that with any gameplay style, with the exception of actually using your weapons. And to some degree, it makes sense. If you snuck up behind someone, stabbed them, or knocked them out, or something like that, that would be kind of a lot easier than, fighting them if they're halfway decent, or fighting anybody. If you imagine, imagine actually, okay, so not like just a fist fight, but like if you authentically were in a actual combative situation, the risk is pretty bad, even if you're the one who is really, really good at it. It's just not a good chance in real life. It's just like if you're in medieval combat. It's heavily about rushing, kind of either rushing the other person, making them make a mistake, or just whenever they really kind of get kind of comfortable, you do something. Like there's a lot more wrestling in medieval combat than people really kind of think. Medieval European combat, because it just a lot of times you might not be able to get past everything else the other person is doing. So just pick them up and slam them against the ground. That works. And so, that actually does kind of work. If you can just pick the guy up and drop him, what was the Battle of Agnicourt? I want to say it's Agnicourt. That the number one cause of death was drowning in mud, because they would just, when you fell over, they just push you down into the mud until you drowned. Can you only eat raw meat? Ooh, we may be in some trouble if you can only eat raw meat. No room for that item? No, he's getting food back. He has eaten. Oh, they're going to the guy's legs. He's saying, not my legs. Yeah, he's in trouble. I just noticed this place is open. And this is a material shop. Oh, it's private. Hold on, it's private. It's still... Oh, no. It's still... We just walked into a place. Oh, not. Okay, are we hitting the legs? No, we're not hitting the legs. I did not mean to commit a crime in Mongrel. The door was open. Do not sneak. Just run. Run for your lives. Run for your lives. And run at max speed. Everyone run at your max speed out. Crawl's going to be in some trouble. Do not defend yourself. That was just going to cause them more crime. Oh, boy. It's saying we committed theft. We just walked into an open door. What is with us with the crime system in this game? You know what? That's pushing us to the Czech territory. We have no choice at this point. He can run fast enough on his own, I don't think. I don't think he needs help, does he? Doesn't really need help. You're gonna need some extra help. Because you're gonna have to get away from these guys, and they are not letting up. We gotta scatter. Oh. Where is he? Well, they got him, so at least that's good. Because that means he's not going to get eaten. Okay, we're getting hit constantly. How long are you guys going to follow us? Oh boy. Oh my gosh, they are dashing. Oh boy. Oh boy, they are fast. Okay, let's go. Let's go. How far do I have to go to get away from you guys? We're hurting the leg too, which is bad because if we keep bleeding in the leg, we're going to be in some serious trouble. Oh, now fogmen are after us. Oh, they just left them down here? Okay, crawl, you go back to town. No one wants you. No one wants you to get hurt. I didn't mean to say no one wants him. Hey, why not fight the Fogmen? You know the Fogmen, the guys that all of us hate? You know the Fogmen? The Fogmen, right? The Fogmen? You remember them? First aid. Go first aid him. He's unconscious for a little bit. He might go into a coma. Oh, we're running right by a fog thing. Ah. A death yard. We're running right by a death yard. Okay, good. You're awake. His toughness is that good. You're an absolute monster, Crawlcash. However, we are dragging people to you. Which is probably not very helpful to you. So you actually fight... Here, you two run back. It's a very small bounty, both of us have. Very small. 59 hours. Okay, so apparently one of them got both of them got terrorism. Again, how? I have no clue. Okay, you run 21 and you run 21. Crawl's allowed in the city, though, apparently. And you run 18? This makes this answer easy. Wait, do either of you have crossbow bolts? I don't think either of you do now. Yeah, I think both of you are out. Oh, You would have to fight him. You'd have to fight him, Jaglonger. He's got some skills on you. You might be able to do it though. And meanwhile, hold on. Where's Kralkesh? You heal up while they're doing that, so you stop bleeding. Uh oh, there's another one. Here, let's just set her to block. All she's doing is buying time right now for him to heal himself up, and once he's no longer bleeding, we'll do the same for her. Oh, hold on, we actually started running away. It's not what we wanted to do. Hold on, heal up. First aid. Oh, don't tell me that was a leg hit. That was a leg hit. Ugh. Okay, now taunt, block, you go and fight. Jaglonger, you gotta run. You are bleeding. You're bleeding out of your chest really bad. Oh no, he's down. No, we gotta get him back. Oh, we gotta get him back. Hold on. Good thing is they're over encumbered. Bad thing is we have 2 damage to the chest or dead. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna micromanage this a little bit. Okay, we gotta micro this a little bit. Otherwise, we're in some serious trouble. And Crawl, get yourself over here. We need you. Actually, you know what? It would be actually worth it to get them to the guards. I know we're hated, but he's hated. Okay, hold on. Come on. Okay, I think he's trying to put us on a post. Hold on. Come on, follow us. Follow us to the guards. I'd rather deal with the guards than you. Let's be honest here. Follow me. Follow me. Follow the tasty morsel. We will get you to somewhere else with a bunch of other people who you may or may not want to eat, huh? We gotta save Crockett. Oh no. Who are you after? Block. You run back over here. Jaglonger. You gotta keep his attention. Where are the guards? Okay, hold on. Good. They're getting attacked. Okay, now we don't want to get too close. As soon as they're down. Oh, perfect. We got him. Let's pick him up before the guards do something brash. No. Pick up. Hold on. Pick up Kralkesh. There we go. Pick up. Because our bounty's not very high. Oh, don't start mining. Don't mine. Go over here. First aid yourself a little bit. Oh no. Not again. Hold on. So he's coming back down. Coming back down to fight. Oh no, he's gonna come after us. You know what? We're gonna go up here. We're gonna hide there. The thieves will take us in. Please, no one notice we have a bounty. Please, no one notice we have a bounty. Okay, hold on. Sneak. There we go. The thieves will protect us. Worst case scenario. Uh-oh. Oh no. The thieves are giving their lives for us. Mongrel's turning into the same scenario. Oh no. I didn't mean for this. Let's stay hidden. That's bad. Mongrel's getting into a civil war. It's the last thing I wanted to see happening. Especially with our allies on the bottom of it. They've all got bounties. This is not the time for a civil war. Shinobi guard, shinobi thieves. Aren't you all shinobi thieves? Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. Stay up here. You're shinobi guards, right? You're a mongrel. Shinobi guard, a mongrel. Let's just wait that bounty off. So that's how many more hours? 55 hours? Yours is how much? 14? Crawl can run around. Time to play as Crawl. Crawl time. We're operating on Crawl time. Oh my gosh. They're absolutely massacring these ninja guards. The good thing is once night comes along, it'll be a lot harder to see us. We'll see if we see any fighting going on. We'll just run Crawl back and forth, get his athletics up. Because it's pretty bad now. Part of that is just because his age. He's still a pup. I don't know why. I've never had this much problem in like games off stream with the law. I've just never. We accidentally ran into a door that was open because I was thinking they would be open, but it was closed. You just left the door open. Oh my gosh. Ex-servant committing crime. Everyone's committing crime now. Just walk around, Crawl. Nothing to see. Nothing to see here, Crawl. Just the sad deaths of our friends. Just run in circles. Run in circles over them. The ninjas who gave their lives. Oh, and now we have those guys fighting. Wait, why are you letting a fogman eat him? Oh, okay, no, you're not letting a fogman eat him. He just looked like he was. Just run back and forth. We just need to wait out that bounty. It's going to be a while before we wait out that bounty. How much longer? Got 9 hours for her. 50 hours for him. So he's got to wait out the bounty a lot longer. The good thing is that he's kind of healing up, I imagine, on her shoulder. So everywhere we've gone, we've ended up getting in trouble with law. I don't get what was specifically this playthrough. We did have that one bug with the Holy Nation, right? Where they picked us up instead of the bandit. And I guess this wasn't a bug, but I guess it was a bug that the door was still open. It wasn't a bug that counted it as breaking and entering. It should have really counted it as breaking and entering, not theft. Let's run back in. We ate something's left arm. Okay, he's been eating arms. Yeah, there we go. Free food. Free food, Crawl. There you go. Playing with limbs. Yeah, he's got a limb. He's got a limb in his mouth. Hold on, did I see green blood? I thought I saw green blood somewhere. To get some money. We're just on Crawl time. Let's just adventure with him. He runs half the speed of a lot of the hivers. I call it the. Oh, there's more fighting. I think it's just internal conflict once more. The good thing is he can't commit crimes. He's a dog, so I never have to worry about him committing a crime, as far as I know. So dogs are actually not a bad idea. For having a bunch of them. Let's run. The only problem is the only way to get food for dogs, if you don't have a human representative, basically, is by ripping limbs off people. So you have to understand their plight, I guess. Which in Mongrel would be the best place to go. Just like literally a giant troop coming to Mongrel would be an amazing idea of dogs. Which is hilarious considering when you think about it. Get the Fogman. Get the Fogman. Get him. Oh. But the only thing is, it can't pick anything up. You can only get better and better skills. You could be like a crazy, probably dangerous dog. Also, there would be no way to heal yourself from cutting wounds, which would be bad. So you kind of need one person who's like a vet. Or allies. You need allies, and I don't know how you'd be able to do that. Oh, people are just getting incinerated. People are getting incinerated. They're actually incinerating the bodies now. Man, the thieves gave their lives for us. And they're getting incinerated. Oh my gosh. That's a whole bunch of... That's a loss. Undertaker. The Undertaker of Mongrel is taking them all. We're just on, we're in crawl time. Just adventuring. I don't think they even care about crawl. Do they even care about crawl? Would they even fight crawl? They had the option? They don't eat dog. They don't eat dog. I think everyone just kind of... I think unless they're like it's another thing with cannibals. I haven't never seen if cannibals will try to eat the dog. Actually, wouldn't it be a bad idea to have just a whole combat troop of just animals and have a human be a rescuer? A medic rescuer. Or even a skeleton. Oh, that would be fun! A skeleton! A skeleton whose whole purpose was to fix up dogs. That I feel like if I do another run, that's gonna be the build. A skeleton who just recruits all the dogs he can find. And its sole purpose to exist is to operate before the whole thing. He ran like a kennel or something like that, or a dog shelter. And now he's just like fixing them up and has like no context of what's going on. I love that idea. Also because I think dogs are a little easier to get access to because of nomads than most other things. And not nearly as expensive. They do eat a ton of food. So you would need to really be a food maniac. And they can't carry the food with them. So I guess you could be like you could be like a beastmaster, but with you need like scout legs or something like that, and just be carrying a whole backpack full of meat. And you don't eat it. This is for the dogs. You just have a meat pack on your back, and you just run around for the dogs. Or you could have a Garu. You could have a Garu that has the backpack full of meat. But you might as well go yourself. You just don't fight. You just sit on passive and watch the dog pack do it. Carl's not finding any enemies worthy of him. Oh, hold on. I say that, but there's combat going on out there. For some reason, the Fogmen were like, okay, they're killing themselves. We don't need to show up. We don't need to make an appearance. What's going on over here? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? There you go. Let's run. Well, how much longer until Jaglong? Jaglong is no longer wanted here, right? Yeah. Here, let's throw Sneak on him. And let's throw Crawlcash into the bed. He's stealth, so no one knows where he is. So we're safe. Let's just keep running. Keep running, Crawl the Arisen around. But that would be hilarious, a dog pack. Someone would just need to be able to collect the stuff that the dogs did in order to just convert to food for the dogs. You would never need to buy equipment. You'd never need to buy equipment. You just run it into like absolutely monstrous animals. You'd have some seriously monstrous dogs. Like, you could do so much damage. You could rip people apart. You'd want to, ironically, wolf pack onto people, though. You'd want to wolf pack onto people because AoE would be the same. Since no one can block, you might as well. Because the only reason why not... Ooh. Yeah, they didn't care about him. I accidentally ran right into a pack of them and he didn't care. Oh, is there actually a fight now going on at the other gate? There is. There was. Crawl's in the wrong places at the wrong times, huh? Just wanted to get a fight with him in. To kind of show where he's grown. I mean, he's very, very weak in combat right now. If we got some more dogs, we could actually kind of use that to our advantage. But they just eat through so much supplies. You really kind of have to use them. If you have them, you kind of have to use them. The investment, however, is heavily into time because it's just, as you can see, his stat multiplier is like horrific. His stat multiplier is absolutely horrific, 0.2. But once he grows up, he'll be a lot stronger, but just by default. Oh, hold on. Hold on. There's Hive. Okay, there's Hivemen. Or not Hivemen, but what call it? Get him, Crawl. Get involved. Get involved. I want to see you fight. Come on, fight, please. I want to see you fight. Man, they got taken down. And there's the what? Who is that? Ninja guard for the Shinobi Thieves. He's unconscious. At least he's no longer a criminal. I think the crimes have finally worked out, but I think that we lost a few good ninjas that day. Thief, Shinobi Thieves, with a bounty. And they can't use a lot of structures, so... Actually, a Beastmaster sounds really fun. The more I say it, the more and more I want to do it. With just a skeleton who doesn't have to eat. Because then you wouldn't have to carry around any kind of other food. I mean, that's a repair kit, but if you focus on athletics, you wouldn't even really need a repair kit. Because the robot could just not get knocked down by just running faster than everything. Or just the dogs just absorb all the weight of all the damage. The only problem is if multiple dogs got knocked out, he'd kind of have to guard the animals. So you want to put him maybe on some kind of defensive role. Or just make him like a Beastmaster with a high defense weapon, like a saber. Something that really increases his defensive skill, and just go defensive skill. Have him taunt. Have every other dog not taunt. And just really, really work on his defensive skills, because then he could get a lot of work done there. Oh, come on, you're fighting again? I was hoping you'd be able to live. Don't think he is going to be able to. Oh, Crawl. We just saw the end of the Mongol Thieves Guild here. So we just run in circles. You don't know what's going on, but you know that there was a lot of people lost today. Just run in circles. Fortunately, Crawlcash and Jaglonger survived for another day in the tough world of Kenshi. And actually with some pretty nice stats by this point, and not even intentionally. Well, Crawlcash. Because Crawlcash keeps getting his absolute trash kicked. He keeps getting his absolute trash kicked, so he's kind of, against all better judgment, kind of growing. Jaglonger kind of ends up... Jaglonger started a little later, and also... has a little while more longer to go. think we can only really get strength from him by actually punching. It's like the only way we can get strength for Crawl. Not that he carries anything. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to get something other than puppies too. And just get all the bone dogs you could. Like 29 bone dogs and 1 skeleton. I feel like you could do some serious damage there. You have no defensive skill. It'd be like if you were hitting 100% of the time. So if someone came in with a big enough AoE weapon, you'd really, really feel bad about it. You'd have to send in your skeleton in with like 100 defense on block. Or something like that. To focus in on just blocking every hit. Because if you can block it, there won't be any AoE. As far as I know. So you could literally defend the animal. Defend the animals. And meanwhile, all the wolves dogpiling. But yeah, the lack of armor would be a problem. Alright, well, I think we got to the end of that. I don't think there will be a fight anytime soon. Hold on. I'm wrong. There's a fight going on. I don't think we're going to get there in time, though. No, we didn't. He just runs too slow right now. He runs only 10 miles per hour. Just far too slow. We'd have to go out hunting way out for it, and we don't have anyone really who could save him. And I'm not entirely sure they wouldn't butcher him. Let's run back. That's another thing you have to watch out is people butchering the... Oh boy, he died. Oh, he went down. Back into recovery coma. Let's run back in circles. Is any of these guys about to get back up? No. And they got pretty selectively hit in the head and chest. Wait, whoa. What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there? Stay away from up there. That's where we're hiding. What is this guy doing? He just took a seat, I guess. Alright, so not much happened this episode, unfortunately. Because we kind of ended up getting in trouble with the law. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll leave it off with Crawl. The one who's technically been able to survive. Surprisingly, him and Crawl Cash have that in common. Is they've survived a lot of strange scenarios right now. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you had a good one. Hope you guys are enjoying. See you guys later. Alright, bye.